I was never homeless in my addiction. I always had somewhere to live. I became homeless to get clean. I mean, I partied from the time I was 12 until I was 40, and I really partied hard. A lot of the time, it was real hard partying. I lived on this street called Millbury Street in Worcester, Massachusetts, and there was like 4 or 5 blocks, and there was like 20-something bars in the 4 or 5 blocks, and it was like a battle zone. I mean, it was just drinking and drugging and fights. It was a chaotic street, and I just blent right into the street. I didn't mind fighting. I loved drinking, and I loved doing drugs. I lived in a rooming house. I worked for a fast food company that delivered the driving service. It's called Worcester Quality Foods. I was a Teamster at the age of 18. I made great money, and I threw it all away on drinking and drugs for the next like 7, 8 years. Dr. Jekyll was a doctor who drank this thing, and he turned into this raging maniac, you know, and that was me. When I drank, I turned into this raging, insane person. It was like, you know, instant idiot, just that alcohol. I drank tequila. I love tequila, and tequila makes a lot of people change, they say. My oldest brother used to say everybody invited Tony over to the party because he was so much fun, and after I started drinking, he said shortly after they would ask Jose to leave. You know? The key thing with the drugs and the alcohol use in my life was I would drink real late at night, and then I like to work. I would go to work in the morning, and I couldn't make it through the day, so I needed something to pick me up. So I would get the cocaine to lift me up until I got out of work, and then I would drink, thinking I was going to calm down and go home, but I would stay out all night, and then I would have to get more cocaine. They talk about, you know, you overshoot the mark constantly. You're constantly trying to juggle the drugs and the alcohol, trying to get that right effect in your body, and you're never going to reach it. It's just crazy. It's insanity for sure. I tell people all the time, you know, if you want to go to where I went, enjoy the ride. It's a long way down. It was hard in the end. When I left my apartment, I had sold off everything. I didn't have TV. Not that it mattered. I didn't have power. So what do you need TV for? I remember running extension cords out windows into other people's apartments, struggling to get money, calling people, trying to get money out of people, of which you don't have a phone because you got to use somebody else's phone to make the phone calls, and your neighbors get sicky, so they won't let you, so you got to go farther and farther to find a phone. I woke up on the morning of the 5th, and I called my mom, and luckily she answered the phone, and I told her I needed to get out of here. I couldn't do it anymore, and she said, "What treatment center are we going to this time?" And that's when I became homeless, because I told her, I said, "I don't need treatment. There's a homeless shelter up there, and I want to move into the homeless shelter so I can get closer to the meetings that I go to." She left me outside the Salvation Army, bought me a backpack to carry my one change of clothes in, because she wasn't going to let me walk around town with my change of clothes in a Walmart bag. And she left me, and she said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore." And she left me outside the Salvation Army. I don't believe in putting the blame on my parents. A lot of people want to see a person like me and go, "Man, your parents screwed you up." You know, I can't even put it on my brother that I followed, because I followed him. I learned these days God's got a plan for me, and He doesn't always let me in on it right away. He makes me wait till the last minute sometimes. There's another shelter in town called the Time Center. That's where the mental health people go, and I'm not a mental health person. I'm better than them, so I thought. I check myself into the Salvation Army, and they get me up there, and they tell me this and that, and it's all good. And about an hour later, another guy comes along. I remember his name's Ray. He comes up to me and he goes, "I got good news for you, and I got bad news for you." He goes, "What do you want first?" I said, "Well, bad news. Let's hear it." And he goes, "Bad news is we're closing tomorrow." And I'm like, "Man, no way. It's not going to work, you know. I came here to make some changes in my life." He goes, "Well, that's where the good news is. Since you're in here, you're one of our guys now. We got spots for all our guys over at the Time Center." And I'm thinking, man, that's not the plan, you know. But I followed through with it, and I stayed in Champaign, and I just started going to meetings. I spent first 6-8 months of my life here in Champaign just attending meetings and working on myself. I don't think anybody can just stop when they're at that point that I was. You have to have somebody that believes in you until you can believe in yourself, you know. Brad used to tell me all the time, He'd walk by me and he'd go, how's it going? I better find a job, you know, because I'm still complaining. And he'd go, that's all right, I've seen worse guys than you come through here and make it. You know, and I'm like, what kind of comment is that? You know, help me get a job, you know? But that was what I needed every day. Don't worry about it. I've seen worse guys than you, Tony. You know, and you're gonna make it too. You know, and I wondered sometimes, who are these guys coming back? There was guys that used to come back and hang around Brad's office, and now I'm one of them guys. You know, you think when you get out of a place like that, I'm never coming back again. I'm getting out of here, I'm never coming back. And you end up going back, you know, because that's where it all started. I tell people all the time, if you can hire a drug addict or an alcoholic that's like me, and you can give them a job that they love, they are going to work all the time for you. I'm a salaried employee that can work 60, 70 hours a week and not bat an eye. I don't think I would change much. I'd like to be in my daughter's life more. You know, I found my daughter. I was 2 years sober, I found my daughter. I'd never seen her. I found her. I'm actually planning on going to see her in about 2 weeks. I'm going down to see her and the grandkids. She loves me for who I am these days, and that's the cool thing, you know. I'd like to have her in my life a little bit more, but in the same sense, I realize she turned out the way she turned out because I wasn't in her life. I may have screwed her up because I was pretty screwed up, so. We could talk about it around the rooms in recovery about if you spot it, you got it. You know, and I can spot it, I mean, because I had it, and I still have it sometimes. You know, I just don't have the drinking part of it. I have the behaviors, and I know what that hopelessness looks like, even though I couldn't see it in myself. Like I said, I wish I could have seen it in myself. I wish I could have seen a picture of myself. I know when I look at a guy, I can tell when he's like at that moment when he's thinking, damn, I can't do it. You know, and that's when you got to be like, hey man, I'm right here. You know, I did it. You can do it. We can do this.